Hey everybody, Happy New Year. It's been a couple months since I've been on here doing a market update, so it's high time that I give you some information on our Marietta market. But one thing I did want to point out first is that I did do a blog post on my website, lynnram.com, to give you a little bit of wrap up for 2018. That would be a great resource to look at if you want some information on the real estate market in the Marietta or Cobb County area. But other than that, I've got just some new stats for you this month. Now we're recapping residential detached for December of 2018. And then I have some 10 quick decluttering tips to kind of get you ready for the new year, get your house in order. So let's just jump right in. The active listings for Marietta, and this is all of Marietta, detached is 894 in the month of December. The new listings are 269. Sold was 220 in Marietta. And I changed these next two stats. I usually do the list price and sales price median. Going forward, I'm going to do the list price and sales price average. I think it's just a little easier for most of us to understand an average price. Now we know with that said, there's going to be $1 million property and there's going to be a $100,000 property. And we're just taking the average. So for Marietta, our average for December list was $415,000. And for sales, it was $386,000, so not too shabby for Marietta, Georgia. And average days to sale in December were 49 days. And then this is a brand new stat for you that I'm going to do the rest of the year. The closing price compared to the original list price for Marietta was 96.5%. So that's fantastic. We're not having to give up a whole lot of money from listing to closing. So there's that. There's the numbers. It's encouraging for December. January has already started picking up. I had a buyer the other day. He thought he was going to get a deal on a house in December because it sat there for 30 days. And sure enough, got swooped up right before we got it. So the buyers are out. It's still a seller's market, but the buyers are out and ready. So let's get on to decluttering. Is your house a disaster? Did December destroy not only your body, but your home because everyone was there and all the things and all the people and nobody cleaned for 30 days while their Christmas decorations were out? At least that's what happened in my house. So let's start in the kitchen. Your cup cabinet. Ask yourself, why do we have so many plastic cups? Why do we have so many mugs? So it's time to go in there, ladies and gentlemen, start clearing stuff out. And when you clean out your house, ask yourself these two things. Does it serve a purpose? And does it give me joy? If the items in your house don't do one of those two things, it's time for it to go. Okay, so cup cabinet's easy. Closet, get rid of all your old towels, you know, those ones you've had since your wedding day that now smell like mildew all the time, and extra bedding that you don't need. You don't need the comforters from 16 years ago that you no longer use. I mean, keep a couple for like blanket forts or camping or whatever, but you really don't need 6 sets of sheets for the one king bed in your house. So time to get those cabinets cleaned out in those closets. Okay, the knickknacks. Knickknacks are a hard thing because a lot of times knickknacks are given to you. They are things that people have gifted or you've inherited. So again, if it doesn't serve a purpose and it doesn't bring you joy, joy is the big one with knickknacks, then it's time to go. Don't feel obligated to house somebody else's stuff, somebody else's thoughts for you. DVDs you don't watch. If you still have VHS tapes of all the Disney movies from when you were little, it's time to let those go. Especially if you don't have a VHS player. Same thing for CDs and tapes. Nobody listens to them anymore. Why do you still have them in your house? And on goodness sakes, why would you move them to a new house? Let's see here, condiments. The condiments. It's a new year. It's time to go through the condiment drawer of ketchup, soy sauces, duck sauce, whatever that other orangey yellow thing is you get from a Chinese food store. Throw them all out. Unless you just got them in the last 3 days, throw them out because there's probably no telling how long you've had them. And also while you're at it, go through your refrigerator and start editing the old soy sauces, the old marinades, the old barbecue sauces that have been open for months. Look for the due dates and start get those out. That's a great one for the kids to do. Let's see here. The paper. The stacks of paper that have taken over your home. So all you have to do is 3 bins. There's one bin for bills and follow-up. There's one bin for kids, and there's one bin, which is the trash bin. If they can't go into one of these first two, now follow-up would be if you need to do RSVP for things, if you need to pay some bills, if you have a class you want to sign up for and it's an application, that would go in the first bin. Anything with the kids, school, signing up for basketball practice, those would go in the kids. And everything else, I mean, can go in the trash. Let's see here, clothes hangers. Now this is one my husband's been doing that I'm not sure if I'm on board with yet, but in your closet, if you will take all of your clothes and turn them backwards, so the hangers aren't hanging like this, but now they're hanging like that. So over the next 6 months to a year, I would say a year because, you know, we do have seasons here, then each time you use an item, when you hang it back up, you put it in the right way. So by the end of the year, if you have a bunch of hangers that are hanging up backwards, that means you never wore it. So it might be time to assess if you actually need that garment anymore. Now there will be special occasion items, fancy dresses you're not going to wear every year. So, you know, be mindful of that. But otherwise, start editing some of that clothing, because there are definitely people who could use it if you're not going to use it. All right, other people's stuff. There really shouldn't be anything in your house that's not yours. So this is time for tough love. If someone is using your basement as their storage facility, it might be time to let them know that that is coming to an end. This is decluttering your home. If you have borrowed something, it's time to return it. If your kids are grown, I say this because I'm pretty sure all my stuff is out of my parents' house now, but if your children are grown and they have a home of their own or an apartment of their own, it might be time to give them all of their items. You know, you don't have to keep their high school treasures anymore. They can keep it. Let's see, just two more. Kitchen utensils. This is a good one and one I've done myself. You know, when you open that drawer of your utensils, it's almost a literal rat's nest of all the things. The Pampered Chef from 1995 and all the bits and pieces. Put them all into a cardboard box, empty out that whole drawer, and give yourself 1 month. And each time you use an utensil, take it out of the box and use it, and then put it in the drawer. So if it doesn't make it to the drawer in a month, chances are you probably don't use it enough to validate having it. I mean, you don't need 6 spatulas. My goodness, we all have our favorite spatula, and the rest can go. Now, there will be things like Christmas cookie cutters that are seasonal that you'll want to keep, or if you're a bread maker, maybe a bread hook you only use a couple times a year. But other than that, it's a good way to start editing. I found things that I don't even know what they're for. It looks like something you would core a grapefruit with maybe, but I don't think it is. It's gone. All right, and the last one, and this is a hard one because it requires a little bit of thinking on your part. When you go through your garage or wherever you store paint, it's time to start getting rid of old paint cans, old spray paint cans, and I'm pretty sure I have about 20 of those in my own garage right now because I craft. So I like to keep them. All these old fertilizers that you're apparently never going to use because they're still sitting there 20 years later, or chemicals that you don't even know what they do. It's time to start doing the research to figure out how to dispose of those items. A lot of them you can't just throw in the trash can anymore. So this is why they tend to stay in our garage, because we don't put the time into thinking about how to get rid of them. And also the shoe collection in the garage. How many yard shoes do your 2 feet need? Apparently mine need 3 pairs of tennis shoes for the yard. So anyway, it's a great way to start decluttering your home, start decluttering your life. Even if you're not thinking of moving, this is a great thing to get started. So if that time comes, it's not so overwhelming for you. But I hope you all have enjoyed these little tips. These are some tips I'm going to have to start doing myself. But I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you this year, and I wish you well, and I wish your families well.